Welcome back to Big Nick's Meats and Treats. It's been a month or so since I've done a video. Today we're going to do pork butts or pork shoulders. We're going to do some pulled pork. It's probably the easiest thing to do on your smoker. Here I have a 2-pack that is boneless, and I think it weighed about 18 pounds for the two of them. So we're going to do both of them at the same time. Pork butt, pork shoulders, lots of different ways you can do it. You can do no wrap, you can do wrap. The last time I did it, I really liked the way it came out. I actually cooked them in a pan. That way they get nice bark on the top and they're still kind of cooking in their own grease in the bottom. And I don't have to change the drip pan every 2 hours in the middle of the night. So let me get these open and then we'll get at it. We'll see you in a minute. So whether I do these as no wrap, or in the pan, the prep is all the same. All I'm going to do is just take a knife and I'm going to score the fat. Just to get down to the meat, about 1-inch cubes, like so. After I have it scored, I'm going to just put a thin layer of mustard on the whole thing. Keep one dry hand and one wet hand. I'm going to rub it down in mustard, flip it over, do the other side. This just gives something for the rub to adhere to. It's just a nice thin layer of mustard. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take Big Nick's Magic Meat Rub and do a nice layer of rub on there. You can be real generous with these. I mean, these things are 10 pounds of meat a piece. You don't need to be shy. Make sure you get the edges, because this is what's going to give you the good bark. If you're shy on the rub, you won't get as good a bark. So get your rub on there. I'm actually going to put some inside the meat too. Flip it over. Get your rub on there. Nice good coating. And I will do the same thing on the other one. And I'm going to put these on the smoker at 215 degrees, and these will take 12 to 14 hours. And since I'm not going to wrap them, I'm just going to leave them in the pan. I'm going to let them go until they're about 200 to 203 degrees. So it's almost 11 o'clock at night right now. It'll probably be noon or 1 tomorrow afternoon when these are done. So I'm going to get these on the smoker and we'll see you tomorrow. So the pork butts have been on the smoker for about 9 hours. I put them fat side up over hickory, and they're at about 160 degrees right now. So let's take a look at them and see how they look. If I was to wrap them, I would be wrapping them right now at about 160. So let's take a look at the color and see how they look. Oh, good. They're getting nice color, and you can see why I like to use the pan, because it catches all the grease and don't have to worry about it going down into the can. Okay, so there's a general rule in barbecue, just so you know. If you're looking, you ain't cooking. So if you're going to open the lid, don't do it very often, because especially on a pellet grill, every time you open the lid, the pellet grill tries to compensate for the drop in temperature, so it's just going to keep feeding more pellets, and you're going to have these big spikes in temperature and stuff. So if you're looking, you ain't cooking. So we'll let them go till they're about 200 degrees, and we'll see you in a few hours. Welcome back. 13 hours later, our pork butts got to target temperature at 203 degrees. Got a nice bark on them. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to double wrap them in foil, and I'm going to make sure they're nice and tightly wrapped. I go end over end, and then I roll the ends like a burrito, basically. Okay. I'll double wrap that. I go opposite direction I did the first time. Same thing, double wrap it. Roll the ends like a burrito. And now I'm going to put these in a cooler, probably wrapped in chef's towels or kitchen towels, No ice or anything in there, just for the resting period. And that allows them to rest properly, and it lets them get to a temperature that's manageable for when you're pulling them apart so you're not burning yourself. So I'm going to let them rest for 3 or 4 hours, and we'll see you in a little bit. All right, welcome back. It's been about 4 hours, and these things are still really hot. I'm going to go ahead and start shredding this and pulling this pork. It's real important when you are doing that you season it as you go. Because when you season before you put it on the smoker, the only thing that gets any seasoning is the outside. So after you pull the pork, make sure you season it and taste it as you go. So I have these forks, or whatever you want to call them. I got them from Grilla Grills, the company that is the manufacturer of the pellet smokers I have, and they're real good for just pulling this apart. So you can just see how soft and tender it is. It's still really, really hot, so I don't want to put my hands in there. But it's just pulling apart super easy. And I'll sit here and shred this, get it nice fine pieces, and season as you go. I'll work on this for a few minutes, and then we'll get back to you. All right, so I've got it broken down pretty good. It's shredded pretty nicely. Like I mentioned before, just because you season the outside when you put it on the smoker doesn't mean anything on the inside seasoned. So after you got it shredded, you want to go ahead and put some of your whatever dry rub you're using. In my case, I'm using Big Nick's Magic Meat Rub. Put that on there. Get it all tossed in nice and good. Get it all mixed up. This gray tub I'm using, I bought this at Cash and Carry. This thing is awesome for doing pulled pork because it's pretty messy. And you know, you might be elbows deep, and this thing works real good for mixing the pulled pork. All right, I'm going to give a little piece of pork here to the camera lady, also known as Mrs. Minzer, and see what she thinks about it. Here, get a good taste on it.
Oh, that's big.
That's too big? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll just take a little piece.
Yeah. There you go. She's going to be the professional taste tester.
Maybe a little more seasoning.
A little more seasoning.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Put it in there.
These are just a little more saltiness.
Yep. Okay, do that. Then get it mixed up again.
So tender.
Yeah. And you can just see the moisture in it too.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so we're about 15 hours in from the time I put it on last night, and you can just see how tender it is. So the plan for this tonight is we're gonna have pulled pork nachos. Do some corn chips and pulled pork, some gooey cheese, some all the goodness on top of that. It's gonna be really, really good. So pulled pork, super easy to do. Just make sure you season when you shred it, and till I see you next time, watch me work, baby. Watch me work.